Like we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars into barbershops, started to get a nice following, started moving to other locations. But as we were doing that, I was seeing that we started on Illusion, and then we went to Shopify, which was a much easier platform. But I started seeing some upticks in our e-commerce as I was out there beating the streets, trying to hustle this product, Like we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Merchant Mastery Podcast. Over the past few weeks, during these crazy pandemic times, we've been bringing in incredible merchants from all over the world. A couple of weeks ago, we had Jose Diaz from Yeehaw Boots, and he was talking all about how he was adapting his content strategy to get more brand awareness. He talked all about getting on TikTok and building up an audience really quickly. He talked about trying new tools like SMS Bump and just being really innovative with brand awareness and getting in front of people. Last week, we had Megan from Ocean Sports. She owns a brick and mortar store that's been around for 40 years, very established business that got hit pretty hard. If you were there last week, you heard all about that. There was a few tears in the conversation, understandably. But through those tears, there were some optimistic discoveries because she pivoted. She put a lot of her focus online, and she's seeing a lot of success from that. Today, I'm very, very, very excited to welcome my friend, Mike James, Mr. Michael James, who owns Frederick Benjamin out of New York. Now, before I bring Michael out here, I just want to give a brief introduction. I was speaking at a conference in New York in September. I was out with somebody from the conference having a cocktail at a hotel bar. The hotel bar closed down. I took an elevator to get out of there, and we didn't want to go home yet. We wanted to go kind of see the city. I met Michael in an elevator, and the friend that I was with was asking his group of friends where we should go. We ended up going to a couple places together. We had some incredible conversations that night. Michael and I hit it off immediately because we're obviously both very invested in the e-commerce space and we care a lot about this industry. And I'm really, really excited that Michael is joining us all the way from New York State today. And, Michael, why don't you just come out here, just say hello and give everybody a bit of a background about your business and how you got started.
Yeah, hi. Well, thanks for having me, guys. This is going to be fun. So yeah, my name is Michael James. I founded a men's grooming line by the name of Frederick Benjamin Grooming, and our whole mission is to provide men of color with modern grooming tools they need to sculpt their best selves. And so that's what we've been, doing for quite some time, really focusing on a problem solution approach that really addresses, some specific concerns to our targeted customer. But, over time, we're learning that, these issues that we're tackling, we can also target a much broader audience as well. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we do.
So yeah, I know. Thanks for that intro there. I know because I've gotten to know you and our team's gotten to collaborate with you, and it's been really awesome so far. And we've learned a lot about each other over the years. And by the way, everybody, Dan Jordan, my colleague Dan is also in this call. Say hello there, Dan.
Hey guys.
Dan is also partners a lot with Mike. So they kind of are two peas in a pod that collaborate on a lot of the e-commerce stuff. But Mike, I know that e-commerce isn't your whole business. When I met you, one of the things I noticed about you is like more than almost anybody I've ever met, you're super, super methodical and aware and conscious of your brand. So I think that is demonstrated in every aspect of your website, how you present yourself, how you converse with everyone. Like you're really brand aware, and e-commerce is not the only part of that. Like you actually had mass reach. And you're selling in, like, I think it was 900 to 1,200 retailers, like you're wholesaling to these retailers all across the United States.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me? But like, I know, like, So there's two things there. I'm talking about brand importance and I'm talking about wholesale. So
Sure.
can you touch on each of those?
Yeah, I mean, just to, I guess give a little color. I started in the business many moons ago, right out of business school, in the beauty business, that is. So I'm what I would call a traditional brand marketer, right? And so at that point, the internet, and again, I'm aging myself, was just a place to share information, right? So it hadn't reached the point where it's full scale e-commerce. And so based on that, I started this business with the idea of really focusing on brick and mortar, getting into the barbershops. Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars into barbershops, started to get a nice following, started moving to other locations. But as we were doing that, I was seeing that we started on Illusion, and then we went to Shopify, which was a much easier platform. But I started seeing some upticks in our e-commerce as I was out there beating the streets, trying to hustle this product, hand to hand. And it just got to the point where, while I continued to pursue the wholesale model, and we got to the point now to where we are is like 1,100 Ulta stores within the US. But I knew deep down that, this e-commerce thing there was something there, because it started to grow without any real effort behind it. And so, so I kind of started to shift my focus, or shift a bit of focus from wholesale to direct to consumer. And I kind of hired to backfill the wholesale piece and to manage the Ulta business, and then really focus my efforts on a .com and bringing some support to drive that business as well. And so, when I got to you guys, I was happy to hear that this is what you do. Like you said, we hit it off, and we started with a trial, and here we are. I think we're really growing our business. So, so luckily, I was able to balance out my reliance on one particular channel of trade. Because now Ulta stores, because of COVID-19, are pretty much closed, and our .com is beginning to explode. That's on one hand, but to your other hand, I think with regards to brand building, I don't think anything really changed there. I think that I know we continue to have a strong relationships with the barbers. We'll continue to look to gain more access and relationships to retailers, but our real focus is on branding and growing a community, and that's what we'll continue to focus on. Is really growing that brand, really getting out who we're marketing to, and bringing more customers into the fold.
That's excellent. I think, like, when I jumped into that conversation, I was thinking, I know Mike James, he's a brand guy, he's a wholesale guy, and now an e-commerce guy. But I think you just clarified that it all starts with the brand and the community. So it's,
Absolutely.
I was just watching, there's this new Netflix show called Self-Made with Octavia Spencer.
Okay, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what it's about? Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it, but I can't say what it's about.
It was about the first millionaire woman in America. Okay. I watched the whole thing, and I'm embarrassed right now. I can't remember her name, but it was
a woman. Madam T.J. Walker.
T.J. Walker.
Yeah,
that was it.
Madam T.J. Walker. Yes.
Miss T.J. Walker. Yes, Madam T.J. Walker. So I just watched this whole thing. You just reminded me of that, because you're like, you're creating the product, you're selling out of the trunk of your car to barbers. That was kind of like that, where it was like, right. That really goes to speak that you're a brand centric business, because it's all about the product and the person and the result. And you're going to start through barbershop. You're going to start through barbershops. Now you're in 1,100 retail outlets across the States and e-commerce as well. But at the heart of it, it's all coming from brand.
And that's right. And I think because of the type of business that we're in, it's a high touch, high sensorial type of category, right? So you got to smell it, see it, touch it, use it in order for you to really convert. And that was kind of the reason why we wanted to get out into the community, right? So we can hand this over to someone and have them use it. But, with our partnership, we've learned how to digitize that experience, right? So now those samples that we would ship into stores or into barbershops, we're actually now giving them away for free and seeing huge success there, right? Everyone loves free, but tactically speaking, we're not only giving to them for free, but we're giving them the explanation that they need and following up with them through our flows, our remarketing and things of that nature. So just like everyone, we are making the necessary adjustments to not only survive in COVID-19, but position ourselves to thrive and come out of this with a winning hand.
This is a really, really important topic that you just raised. I talk to beauty brands, consumable products, businesses all the time. And you just kind of emphasize something that comes up a lot in conversations. Like you need to touch it, smell it, feel it, experience it. So right now you kind of pivoted your offer during the time and you're saying, we're going to give away this free sample. We want to get our product in as many people's hands as possible. I think it's a brilliant idea because it's really about like, you can get all the traffic in the world, but it's really more important that people who come to the website are touching and feeling the product. So is this something you've just been doing during this pandemic, and how has it been working so far? Okay, is it working?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We started about a month ago, Dan, I think, just about a month ago, and we're seeing great success. Our average daily orders have 3x, 4x over the last couple months. And more importantly, because the free item that we're getting, so it's basically an offer. It's like, try this free, just pay shipping. Mm-hmm. And so more importantly, we're seeing these customers return to not only purchase the large size, but also grab other complementary items into their basket. So it's working beautifully. And, now we're going to double down on additional items in the line to try the same tactic. So people love free, right? And so, sometimes it's even better than giving 10% off. If you just pay shipping, my cost is already sunk. I already have the product. And so I'd rather just give it to you for free, and with the hopes that you come back, because we really we have a lot of confidence in our formulas and our repeat purchase rate.
Were you gonna add to that, Dan?
Yeah, no, it's just there's so much confidence behind the product. When we even look at small things, I guess not even small, but looking at return rates, they're so minimal. So the customer lifetime value of Frederick Benjamin is just sky high.
Yeah, I think it's one, like, so this is a really important takeaway for anybody who's listening, watching. It's like, this is a new offer that came out through this pandemic, and it's saying it's not 10% off, it's free. So like, you're right, Mike, people love free, but what a great way to build new relationships and friendships. Like, I think we have to go above and beyond for our customers right now. And not only that, like, you're going above and beyond, you're giving this free product, but you guys are both talking about customer lifetime value and repeat purchases. You have nobody returning the product, and all these people can become lifetime buyers.
That's right. And, we've also seen an uptick in our conversion rates as well, which was, an avenue that we really wanted to focus on. But absolutely, I mean, I think it's definitely working extremely well.
And it's like a snowball effect too. Hey, Michael, like we're noticing daily that it's going up. So
yeah.
I think that tactic was awesome.
Absolutely. And I would just, I told my partners going into the new year is that, my goal is to hire experts, right? We can do a lot of this work, but we're interested in fast, scalable growth. And so instead of tinkering around trying to figure it out, we went out and got you guys, which is the expert. Great collaboration, but we're seeing the growth faster, and it just, I mean, it's working out wonderfully.
Awesome. I know, like, I appreciate that. We love working with you. That's our biggest dream as an agency. It's not just to work with many as people as possible. It's to work with people we are aligned with, and we believe in their product, and they're experts at what they're doing. So I think it's been awesome in that way. Why don't you tell us, Michael, like, you're in New York right now, like, and I know a lot of, like, this could be a good takeaway for a lot of people. A lot of businesses that I talk to are hesitant to market. They're kind of pulling back their ad spend. They're hesitant. You're in, like, the epicenter of North America right now, yet you have your foot on the accelerator. I have a lot of admiration for you as a business owner for being level-headed and focused. Like, what are your thoughts? Did you ever feel like the New York stuff around you was making you want to just, like, hide in a room?
Well, so yes, in fact, I tried to move my family down south because we were the epicenter, and if we were infected with the virus, we wouldn't be competing for hospital beds here in New York. But I got vetoed, so we're still here, and we've been here. We've been, staying safe, staying at home. But to your point, yeah, I mean, it was a little scary, right? Half of me said, you know what, we should ratchet down to try to maintain cash flow, because cash is king these days. The market was tanking. So the one half of me said, let's reserve cash because we don't know how long it's going to last. And then the other side said, no, I mean, let's keep it going and kind of see how it goes. And I mean, this is right at the time where we were really ramping up. And so I basically took a hands-off approach, crossed my fingers. And not only have we continued our spend, I think, we're talking about increasing it. But overall, as I think about the business and continue to talk to my partners and potential investors, I mean, this is the time, and I tell them, to double down. Why? Because people, especially with direct-to-consumer brands, people are at home. They're spending 2, 3, 4 times the amount of time on Facebook and Instagram and on their phones and all these platforms. And so the likelihood of you getting your products in front of them is extremely high. And they're still, a lot of customers are still purchasing. And so, yeah, I mean, we're not by any means looking to ratchet down during this time at all. And again, I just had a conversation yesterday with a potential investor, and he was amazed. And I explained it to him, and I think we all, he got it, right? Because he's going stir crazy at home, spending time on his phone. And so with great content, with great copy, with great reviews, all those things that we had in place, if we just continue to put that in before the customer, I think you'll definitely win. So yeah, I mean, this is not the time to, from what I've learned, this is not the time to hold back, but to really, double down.
Hey, Michael, that was a really heartfelt story. I couldn't imagine being in a situation where you need to consider moving your family to another state. Like, I have goosebumps to my toes right now, because I like, we're in Alberta, and it's like everywhere in the world is affected, but I think, like, being in New York, it's really, it must have been really real. And like, every entrepreneur in the world is probably a little bit worried and scared. I know for the first 2 weeks of everything, I also wanted to hide and, like, rethink what I was doing. But, like, if we want to keep our business open, we kind of got to show up and be there. So huge props and admiration to you from us for just being brave and sticking through it and plowing ahead. And when you take that kind of risk and you realize, our business doesn't need to sink, we can actually accelerate now. Like, people are at home, people like shopping, people want products, they have nowhere else to go. So in a sense, you're actually really there for them too right now.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm having some audio.
Sounds good.
What was your last comment?
Yeah, I was just like, tremendous big ups to you for being there and showing up. I think not only did you show up and like excel as a business, but a lot of your customers, like, people are at home shopping right now. People want to shop. They want to buy products. They have nowhere else to go. They're spending time online.
Right.
So you're providing some normalcy and consistency in society for them too.
Yeah, and even outside of my category, I'm looking, I'm spending an awful lot of time in my living room and looking at my furniture, saying, it would be nice to update this or update that. And, really, so people are shopping. And the more you can stay in front of your customers, I think, those brands will definitely win, because we will get through this. COVID-19. And so, the ones that stay in front of their customers and communicate and continue shipping and providing them with value will come out of this stronger. I honestly believe, because unfortunately, I do think that there will be some attrition, whether it be brick-and-mortar.com, what have you. But, the strong can survive, and everything's a risk. And so you just got to take a calculated risk. And I will say, though, yes, we are doubling down on our spending, but we're looking at it. I mean, Dan tells me he's looking at it every 5 hours or so.
Yeah,
so,
with their Facebook campaign.
Yeah. And so, we're not spending stupidly or taking our eyes off the ball, but we do know, based anecdotally, that folks are spending a lot of time on their digital devices. And so this is a time to win.
Yeah, and we are. I mean, it's been a record month, and like we were talking about before, just daily. Every week we kind of touch base and we come up with benchmarks, right? So we've kind of hit where we want to be, but we've also talked about where we want to get to. And that's kind of why I'm checking in on those Facebook ads every 5 hours, because we're running experiments to find audiences, running experiments to find what creative really resonates with those audiences. And if we're going to be spending the big bucks, we want to see the big returns. And that's what we're all about.
That's exactly right. I'll just add as well, right quick. When we started, I put on the table what I like to do. I think we started right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Right.
And I put out to your team what I would like to see on daily, weekly, and monthly goals, shipments, dollars, and things of that nature by the end of April. And
today,
here we are. Yeah, exactly, today. But my point was, we were about 85% of that goal, 90% of that goal mid-March, just because, we were constantly tweaking, putting up new ads, taking them down, putting them back up, letting, you guys could speak more to what you were doing, but direct to consumer right now is where you want to spend. And I'm talking to my neighbors in Harlem who have brick and mortar stores who've had to close. They're calling me just to check in, entrepreneur. And my story is kind of the flip of theirs, right? And so now they're refocusing, or this pandemic has forced him to rethink the makeup of the business, or to at least place some more importance on their direct-to-consumer model. And me as well. I mean, again, my biggest customer is, the stores have been closed for about a month and a half now. So they're not reordering. So if we didn't do this shift way back when, we would be in a real pickle.
Can I also add that our agency decided to niche in e-commerce only a year and a half ago, or 2 years, maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. And if we didn't do that, we would also be in a pickle.
Yeah.
So I think it's this everything that's going on is forcing all of us to really think about where we put our focus on our business, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And again, I think, we almost had, fingers crossed, an investor walk away from the table only because of what was going on. We had to get him on the phone and just show him the numbers and say, please, this is not the time to walk away. Not only, more importantly, it's not the time to walk away because we're seeing, we're finally seeing a breakthrough here. So yeah, I would tell all your listeners, do it smartly, do it strategically, but do it. You've got to make calculated bets in this arena, and go out and hire some experts, look at the data, spend correctly, but spend.
That's a huge, that's a huge takeaway right now. I think I'm hearing that time and time again. I talk to businesses all over the world. I was just talking to a business in Vancouver and one in Seattle and one in LA. And it's all these businesses, their wholesale side has just shrunk overnight. It just sunk away overnight. So it's what do? You have to be brave. You have to act now. And you have to pivot. You have to change your business model. And I was listening to a podcast by Gary Vee last week, and he said, if I owned e-commerce businesses, I'd be spending 7 times the ad spend right now. So I think it's there is some risk in that. There is some fear with everything that's going on. But from what you're saying is you got to show up and double down.
Yeah. I think as I think about running this business and all of the advice that I've been, what kind of business sayings that I've heard over many years, and one of which is go big or go home, and I just think with the .com, that saying is kind of, for me, is dwindled to have no meaning, right? Because it's not really go big or go home. It's test, tweak, optimize, test, tweak, optimize, and then have that, that big piece of the go big or go home begin to increase over time, right? So don't just double down today, spend all your eggs, and then learn a tough lesson, and then you have nothing to show for it. But, commit, put a little money behind, sprinkle a little money behind certain ad sets, which is what I see what we're doing, shut down what's not, reallocate those funds. So you can incrementally go big, if you will, based on real data. And so that's making calculated risk. And again, this is the time to do that.
Whew, I'm actually so glad that you added that disclaimer. For anyone listening, when I said go and 7-fold your ad spend, don't do that overnight if you have not set up a methodical approach to doing it. I think that was huge disclaimer that you added in there. It's not about just going and adding ad spend and blasting it out and hoping you get a bunch of sales, but it's more about 7-folding your focus and resources, not just 7-folding your ad spend, but okay, I'm going to put more people or more attention to ads, and I'm going to methodically scale them up. And then if they're working, I will continue to invest more into it. Yeah.
I think what Dan and I did, because he came back to me a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, look, I've got this new technique. Let's give it a try. And so what I've learned is I need to give a lot of things a try, right? Just so that, one, if it doesn't work, I won't hear from Dan again and said, you never gave us a try. But if it does, I'm wow, good job. Let's do more. But it was, all right, let's just give it a try, but let's reallocate some of the spend that we already committed to that, because my fear was I don't want to just turn my back on what's working, because I need that to continue working. So I didn't want to, yes, it's working, and I didn't want to say, you know what, no more ideas, just keep doing what you're doing, but let's shift some budget to your new experiment while we're keeping this, this other thing that we know it's working turned on. And then as we see results, we can, again, continue to balance it out. And then I'm sure we'll have additional techniques that we'll continue to, we can continue to try. But again, that's that incrementalist kind of, and again, sometimes I think I'm too methodical, which could slow me down a bit. So I'm beginning to, be comfortable with taking a step back and trusting, again, the expert.
Hey, if you're methodical and you have some methodical people working with you, then everyone's on the same page.
I think so. And then we all win.
Yeah. Dan, did you want to add anything to that?
No, it was well said. Mike has it dialed in there. I mean, yeah, in terms of scaling incrementally, finding out what works, what isn't, what needs to be optimized. I think he summed it up pretty well. And that's basically the strategy for not only Facebook, Google, and even now as we're starting to tweak emails a little bit. So yeah, I think he got it all in there.
Yeah, so we got about like 10 minutes or so left. So I just want to start with a little recap here. So far, Michael, you told me, during this pandemic, you want to kind of go above and beyond for your customers. You've adapted your offer. You're giving out free samples so people can try it with the goal that you're going to make new friendships, create new conversations, and you're going to have a lot of new repeat buyers through the process with great lifetime value. You also talked about you're in the thick of it. You're in Harlem. You said that would be a terrifying experience for anyone. Yet you got to show up and you got to readapt and be brave and focus. One more question I want to ask. I want to circle back to what I said in the very beginning. When I first met you, I got a clear sense that you were a brand guy. You just said it too. You're a brand marketer. I know you worked for one of the biggest global beauty companies in the world prior to this. How important has that been? Like, one of the things you said earlier was we kind of started getting e-commerce sales quite easily without doing nothing. That is like a dream scenario for a lot of people who are getting started. How big do you think brand has been on getting people to just start buying from your e-commerce store and to continue buying now?
Yeah, I think it's everything. It's, what we've learned from our customers is, one, appreciation for speaking to him, right? And him meaning that man of color who felt ignored for so many years when it came to his grooming, whether it's dry scalp, dry hair, razor bump and burn, right? And not only that, but it's, elevating him to, or meeting him where his lifestyle is. And so, but that's the look and feel, that's every touch point of the brand, right? That really resonates across all the brand pillars, if you will. So, I mean, and I'm not sure if I'm explaining this correctly, but brand is everything. If you don't have a brand, then you're just your commodity. And so, because otherwise they can continue to go to the drugstore and get the same products for $3. But because of who we're for, how we say it, and how we reflect him and his lifestyle and aspirations, and just the appreciation of being heard and respected and spoken to, I know that's what gets us our first purchase, or that's what gets them to click and say, what is this all about, right? And then they see that it's the founder is someone that looks like them, shared the same issues. So then and there, it will give more than not the opportunity to at least get a purchase, right? And then from there, that's all I can ask for. Then from there, those products have to do their job. And I think, because I've had that experience with the big guys, we've nailed the product development. And then from there, it's easy, right? So now it's just on replenishment. And that's what I like about this business. It's highly replenishable. I mean, we see our customers about once every 3 months. And so, yeah, I mean, it's and and by all means, we're still developing the brand. I mean, we have one big issue, and that is brand awareness. Like, nobody knows about it. But when they know about us and they come to the site, they love, the brand name, they love the backstory, they love the look of it. And then when they use it, it's sold. I'll come back and buy again. So we're still developing our brand, but brand is everything, because that's what's going to get you the difference between $4 and $12.
Yeah, I think it's like now more than ever, you be true to your brand. Like the fact that you're giving away free product, that really speaks that what the care behind it, that you care for him, that avatar.
Right. Not only do I care for him, but my goal is to get this. I'll give it to you for free, because based on the history, I know 9 times out of 10 you're gonna come back, because our repeat rate is high.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I have a question. A question popped up for you, Mike. And it's relevant to what we're talking about right now, so I might as well just throw it in the mix right here. Can you touch on? Did you ever use any affiliate marketing strategies or like influencer marketing? And did you ever use any apps for that kind of thing?
So yeah, well, Dan will be happy to hear this. We are, to my point of hiring experts and doubling down in this, we're talking to bringing on some additional help. And in that conversation, influencer marketing as well as affiliate marketing will be a part of the fold. So to date, no, and that's why I see such upside with this business. I mean, we used barbershops as that affiliate back in the day, right? Because our math was, let me go into the barbershop. Barbershop has 5 chairs. Each chair sees about 100 or so clientele. So if I can convert that one barber, I'm getting access to 100, and he's going to do the selling for me. Now, again, I'm kind of old school, but I'm hiring great digital marketers. We want to shift that to a digital platform. So that's something that we're going to be implementing this year.
I think that just screams opportunity. If you haven't done that yet, there's just more opportunity.
There's so much opportunity in this arena, and I'm just, you guys have helped me uncover the potential, but it's, again, my process is just layering on the different support levels. But that's going to be big for us. I think affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, turning influencers into affiliates will just help us really capture our targeted customer, get them to convert, and increase our conversion rates. And again, I'm still learning this stuff, right? So all those great ideas that you guys have brought to us, we're trying to implement, as long as it makes sense. We've got target and goals that we can track. I'm all in.
I think the beauty part too, Mike, is we literally have just scratched the surface. Right? We're starting to implement new tools like Zipify. We're starting obviously want to get to the point where we're increasing the average order value with upsells, cross-sells, downsells, working on our emails, continually refining our Facebook and Google advertisements. So as much as we are nailing these benchmarks, we can get a little bit more ambitious with what the next quarters look like, just because there's always so much stuff to improve on.
No, that's exactly right. And one very important thing that I think that I know we've talked about, and that is, optimizing our product pages, right? One thing, and that's, so one thing I want to do is create better content by avatar. So this year, we're going to focus on 5 avatars. We're going to shoot those avatars. We're going to shoot how-tos. We're going to shoot the proper content so that our product pages are optimized with great copy, but also with great imagery and video. And then at that point, I feel like it's really time to talk about really amplifying our lead generation.
Totally.
And so again, we would have had this content already, but we got hit by COVID. And so now that the states are beginning to open up, I think we'll start having those conversations and going into some content production. But the upside is tremendous. I feel like I have an idea, but some of the numbers that I've seen on a day-to-day basis is I may not, and so again, we're spending. We are going to invest in what we need to not only grow our direct-to-consumer model, but we know, and I'm betting that my wholesale business, when they do open up, will only benefit from the work and the fact that we never took the foot off the pedal during this time.
Totally. And it's awesome working with you too, Mike, because you understand return on ad spend. And when we're giving away free samples, well, once again, you really understand the customer lifetime value. So as much as the ROAS isn't insane like we've seen on some campaigns, it's all just relative, right? Because now we have them in our system, they're indoctrinated. And once people get this product in their hands, they use it. It's part of their lifestyle. So
absolutely. And I knew this was going to crush our AOV. But it didn't crush it. It went down a bit. But what I learned was they came for the free sample, but they bought other stuff.
Totally.
They bought the pomade, or they bought the shampoo, or they bought the wave brush. And so, I'm sure there's a ton of bag of tricks out there that we could, you guys have up your sleeves, and I'm looking forward to, to making it happen.
For sure.
I got another question pop up here. Has FBG, Frederick Benjamin Grooming, somebody's already thrown some acronyms in here. Has FBG ever been part of any subscription boxes like Birchbox or something like that to get your sample into people's hands?
Yeah, so we spoke to Birchbox a couple of years ago. They were just too big for us. I think they started out with needing 10,000 samples, and I didn't have it. So Birchbox would be a great company to circle back with now, but we are in a few subscription boxes. They're not on the tip of my tongue at the moment, but so the answer is yes. And I love those discovery platforms too. And so as we ramp up our sampling strategy to do what we've just said, I think we'll get, hopefully we can, do extra runs and then reach out to these subscription boxes as a strategy to gain awareness and bring people into the franchise.
I have a question for you, Mike. I'm just thinking about the free samples that you're giving away. When you give it away, are they subscribing for I know you have a subscription model on your website, you can get repeat purchases, subscribe and save. Is it buy your first one, or the first one's on us, but you're entered into a subscription, but you can cancel anytime, or do they have to come back? So it's just no strings attached.
So for me, again, you're paying, I've already sunk the money into the samples, right? And so every day they sit into the warehouse, I'm paying for that. So my thinking is I need to get this product out in the hands of the customer as fast as possible. And so my goal is so I was ready to give it to them for free, period. We pay shipping. But what I've learned over time is if customers, if it's totally free, there's no incentive to try it, right? So they got to have a little skin in the game. And so that skin was you pay shipping, right? And so I don't even think we ask for your emails if it's your first visit and you get 10% off, but 10% off of zero is still zero. But my goal, what I know after the fact is I have your name, I've got your email address, I've got your address, I've got what I need, right, in order to hopefully successfully market to you to get you back via the emails that Dan was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I didn't get your, so it's not there wasn't a gate, if you will. Give me your email address. I'll send you something in your inbox so you can come and, redeem your free sample. I think I want to reduce the friction. Just put it in a cart, pay the shipping, and let's rock and roll. And at that point, like I said, I've got everything I need. I've got all the information on that customer in order to, to remarket. And we also have a flow though set up specifically for that product, for that product. So you'll get, a flow, just new welcome and thanks for your purchase flow, but then you'll also get another flow specifically to that product, because usage is important.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it, but if you don't use it properly, you won't see the results. I mean, this product is for razor bumps. And so because razor bumps are a daily, razor bump, rash, ingrowns are a daily nuisance, it was important for us to let them know that you've got to use this daily. And so that's why we had that, that additional flow, but it also increases our chances of the product really working and getting them back into the franchise.
Phenomenal. All right, so we're gonna start getting towards the end here, Brent. I do still have a couple. I'm just gonna ask you this. With this Merchant Mastery podcast, this was an idea we had for a long time. We should do a podcast, and the whole intent behind it, though, it now seemed like the time to do it, because we don't think we're gonna work with every merchant, all million Shopify merchants, but a lot of merchants are going through this shared experience as business owners right now. So our intent was let's bring in real business owners from all over the place to share advice, and and we can build camaraderie, we can build friendships through this. And for anyone that's listening, what would you say? Our whole intent is to give away some advice that's really going to help a merchant. What is number one or number two things that you would implement tomorrow during the pandemic for your business?
For a brand, and again, I haven't done this because I'm not as brave as you guys, but to connect, right? Do more of these during this time, because again, people are at home, they're looking to connect with folks. And so your example of TikTok, I mean, that guy's brave. But yeah, I mean, just finding new, unique ways to engage with customers. I think that's the most important at this time. And then also, this is a time to try things out. I mean, you guys could tell me, I don't know if CPAs or CPMs or whatever you call it, are they cheaper now or whatever? But again, I would just say this is the time to try. And I think customers in this environment will reward effort.
Well said. I mean, if that's, you're demonstrating that in everything that you do, is that you're, like you said, you were faced with some really serious circumstances living where you are. Should I move up my family? Should I, how do I react to this? But as a business owner, you decided to remain focused, keep plowing ahead, and you got to try some new things right now. I think it is a good time to experiment. I did have one more question pop up for you, and then we'll start wrapping up. Okay. How important is packaging for a product like Frederick Benjamin? I mean, in terms of the customer experience when they check out to when they actually receive the product. Are there any personal touches that really drive home the experience and keep customers coming back with the packaging?
Yeah, well, packaging is extremely important. Not only I learned this many moons ago when I started, right? Because that's your presence on shelf. And so packaging has to scream out to that person walking down the aisle in this sea of packages, right? So it's paramount. It says everything about the brand, professionalism, what they can expect from the product. And again, it just showed that you put the effort in and really thought this through. But that's the packaging of your goods. And then after the fact, I mean, packaging this whole unboxing experience as well is extremely important too, because consumers are looking for an experience. And so inserts, thank yous, samples, all those things go into packaging and make for a great experience. And so, you can look at packaging as what you put your product in. You can look at packaging as how it comes to your doorstep. But also, I think you can extend it to, email and post-purchase and what you offer and how you say thank you digitally as well. So, I think it's everything. It's all presentation, and it should be, a 360 approach, right? From the minute they're exposed to the minute they are able to tangibly touch it, to inviting them back for more. I hope that.
Yeah, I think like anybody who's listening, go check out the website, Frederick Benjamin. You'll get an immediate sense of how serious this company is about branding in every single aspect of the website. And that's something that we've always appreciated. Like, yeah, we're kind of like marketing nerds, and we like things like ROAS and ad sets and email automation. But usually our clients are the heavy hitters when it comes to the brand and the content and the story. And I think that there's nobody that we've worked with who has really hit it home as much as you guys have.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I would just say though that I've learned this the hard way is, and maybe for your listeners is, some folks will stop and wait until they get things to their liking before marketing or before creating that customer experience or before doing whatever. And I would just say, don't wait, just go, and you can always tweak as you go. Don't let perfection be the, enemy of the good, or don't let perfection impede progress. Just go after it and continue to increase that level of that white glove experience as the question asked. And again, customers will appreciate the incremental.
It's like an evolution of a brand, hey?
That's right, exactly. The level of support that just continues to grow with the brand, and because I hear a lot of times, customers say, "Yeah, I remember when you walked the products into the barbershop. Look at you now."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that guy is just as proud of being at the beginning and watching the evolution as I am. Like, they feel like they're in it with us. And so that's why it's like really important. Like my pomade, I did 4 iterations before we got it right, but my customers continue to tell me what they liked and what they didn't like. And so on the next production, we tweaked. And now it's one of our hot sellers. And so, so I would imagine a lot of folks, especially during this time, are sitting on their hands, trying to get shuffling papers, trying to make it right. Just choose one thing, go after it, and then just keep tweaking and make it better.
Everybody, don't wait. Go do it. Yeah, and then we got a couple of comments. Just someone, Mick who's listening, said, "Great interview, Mike."
Thanks, Mick.
Yep, another person, "That's such a great point. It's so important to listen to your customers." Yeah, I think
having that feedback loop is a part of that white glove experience. We did it once, but I think, we really should have that as an automation flow as well. We've got a lot of upside. We've got a lot of loose ends. There's a lot of ways we can continue to improve. And I think one of them is continue to have that feedback loop.
Yeah, and don't wait. That's some sound advice. Like, we got to act now.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're nearing the end here. And Mike, I met you in an elevator. I met you in an elevator. We had the reason we hung out is because we connected on conversation, right? And one of your friends was like a guy of the town, and he kept taking us all over the city, and we're like, where are we going?
That's right. Over a lot of drinks and Shopify connection. We stayed in touch, linked up on LinkedIn, and again, this is one of those things like, look, this guy's in 2 time zones behind us in a whole different country, but I can either get started today, or I can say, you know what, I know I need it. I can go out and start looking. And I was like, you know what, just let's get started. And so here we are, 5 months in, 4 months in.
Yeah, 5 or so. And I think it's just that, like, the truth is, what great conversations. I hope you're gonna join the Merchant Mastery Facebook group. And if anyone wants to have a conversation with Michael, yeah, you can tag him in there, and we'll keep that conversation going. I think that it's really important to have community and shared experiences to share with each other. So Mick just added.
Can I give a shout out to Mick? Yeah, I was gonna say, because so here's case in point, right? Bronner Brothers. That's a trade show that we did many moons ago, where all the barbers come and we just connect. And so, you know, Mick has been with me since then. That's what I'm saying. It's just, you just get out there, and these consumers would love to take the ride with you. So appreciate.
Yeah, for anyone watching, Mick piped in. He had a little Q&A, and he said, "I've been following Mike for years from back at Bronner Brothers show." So that's pretty cool that you're out here for the podcast interview and stuff, and it's what it's about. It's community and just genuine long-term relationships, right?
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Any last words before we part ways here?
Yeah, for me, it's been great. I've learned a lot from you guys. I look forward to learning more. And for the listeners, I would say, if you've got that idea, get started. Don't be afraid to start small. Don't be afraid to start incrementally. Mind the shop. And when you get it right, double down. But now is the time. Now is a great time, if you have the means, to build a great brand. Spoken
from a great brand in the epicenter of New York in the pandemic. So it's like, you're showing leadership, and I hope anyone listening feels a little bit more confident after today and goes after it. Yeah, you can hit us up at info@frederickbenjamin.com or mjames@frederickbenjamin.com. I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs in the space and not in the space. And, I try to share as much as I can without giving away the secret sauce. But, I do try to share my knowledge, not only in this space again, but just entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. And I'll be happy to do that as well. Yeah, let's connect. We'll get you in the Merchant Mastery Facebook group. Keep the conversation going there. And Mike, thank you again so much from the bottom of our hearts for joining us today and providing such amazing insights. Yeah, this has been fun. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Okay, see you, Mike. Stay safe out there in Harlem, and we will talk again soon.